There it goes. It didn't look like my mic was working. So, anyways, so the plan was to. I ended up getting, I was getting married at the end of May, and so I decided to just completely stop. Is it working now, Eric? I don't know what the delay is like on here. How do I type in the chat? Let's see. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Let's see. Because it registers that there's sound. Let's see. I'm gonna. Okay, perfect. Sorry, the delay is ridiculous. I need to work on. I think there's a way that I can change the delay, but how have things been going with you, Eric? It's been a while. I know you left the Magic Mastery. We miss you in there. We miss some of your crazy stories. But yeah, the plan was to do these weekly, and then getting married, and then getting lazy. Then I wake up and I'm exhausted all the time. I actually probably need to see a doctor at this point, because I know I have sleep apnea. I used to work in sleep medicine back in the day. I'm 100%. There's no way around me having. There's no way that I don't have sleep apnea. So I need to, at the age of 40 now, I just had a birthday. So I need to go get that checked out and get my Darth Vader mask. I just don't want to. Because, like, I can't breathe when the wind is blowing in my face. It's a really weird thing. It's like my body's like, nope. And then I stop breathing. Like, I can't force myself to breathe with wind blowing in my face. So I am worried that a CPAP, since that's what that is this forcing air into me to keep the obstructions from happening, that it's going to cause bigger issues for me. I also don't breathe out my nose very often. I'm a mouth breather because my allergies, like, daily regimen is off-brand Zyrtec, off-brand Flonase, Mucinex, sometimes some Benadryl, just to be able to breathe during the day. Or you have this. My dad has a CPAP, Eric, and he's had it for years, and but he's still like really sleep deprived. Oh, see, yeah, and I don't like. I wake up with dry mouth because I do sleep with my mouth open all the time, and I know a lot of them have built-in humidifiers, but like my dad's been on a CPAP for since he was in his 40s, maybe even before then, and he still like struggles with sleep. I think, and I honestly, I think I probably need to have a day study done because I think that I'm also I think I have a bit of narcolepsy in me. Just because I can fall asleep at the drop of a hat, especially during the day. I call them accidental naps. I'm scrolling through YouTube and then I wake up 2 hours later with nothing on and the controller in my hand. So I wouldn't be surprised if I don't have a little bit of narcolepsy. I probably need to have a day study, which I used to do those day studies for people too. See, I don't have full fledged insomnia. I have like a selective insomnia. Uh, if I get stressed, I won't sleep for I won't sleep. Sometimes for days at a time. I think the longest I ever went without sleep was like I went about a week, where I was able to get like little cat naps in, and that was about the only thing that kept me from going crazy. And but if I get really bad stressed, I become I get a little bit of insomnia, um, which sucks because then I end up missing work because I can't. I'm like, I sorry, I did not sleep last night and I am non-functioning today. So, but yeah, I need to go to the doctor. I need to call him up and say, hey, I need a sleep study, probably a day study, and get all sorted out because and what's funny is I had sleep studies done when I was a child because of the ADD. That's how you that's one of the ways you that is the way that you properly diagnose ADD and ADHD in children because sleep apnea in children will disguise itself as ADD or ADHD. So because when a child gets a lack of sleep, they become very very, very hyper, very kind of like disjointed from themselves and kind of crazy. So that's when a lot of doctors in the civilian world don't go that route. They just throw out a diagnosis. And luckily, I was raised in the military world. So in the military, they want proof of something that you supposedly have. So I went through the gambit of tests. And I've stopped breathing ever since I was a baby while I was asleep. Um, But anytime I've had a sleep study done, my body reacts the way it's supposed to, and I don't stop breathing. Um, but with all the testing, that's when they found out that I had ADD. But like, I'm also worried. Like, am I actually like at this point? I shouldn't. My body shouldn't be like, nope, I'm going to behave today. Um, but yeah, I just need to get it done. I need to get the diagnosis and yeah, I had a teacher that realized that I had it. Um, And I know a lot of people hate Ritalin. There's better options I think than a Ritalin out now, but um, I went from being like a C and D student, like barely passing classes. The minute they got me on Ritalin, I became like an A and B student. Like I was a smart kid. I just didn't pay attention in class. I was always kind of wandering, like my mind was wandering, and when they found out like things to help me like read like because read I still get bored reading today, which is amazing because like I can read a magic book cover to cover and not have a problem. But when it comes to any other book, I'm not a reader. And when they found out like to put like colored cells on the page and it helps me actually focus and read, there was a lot of things that they put me in like because they put me in like a special education like not a full special education class. It was like an hour a day that I went to one, and their main focus was to determine what does what helps Corey do things, what helps Corey pay attention in class and crap like that. So that was fun when we did all that, and then the school just kept making me go, so I just ended up playing video games in that class most of the time because we knew what I needed to do, and the school was like, oh no, he still needs to go to this class. So I played Number Munchers, which most kids hated, but I loved because I was always like, even though I hated math, it was like a really fun game for me. Number Munchers and Word Munchers was my jam back in the day. Let's see, what am I missing that's going on in the magic world?
Hello, my name is Hal Ackerman.
That's not what I wanted. No, it doesn't really interfere. So one thing that I've discovered when it comes to my ADD, and I think it's true for a lot of people, is things that can. So for me, like puzzles, like you can give me a Rubik's cube before I knew how to solve one. And this is actually kind of like my fidget toy and my focus toy. Like if I'm having problems focusing at work, I mix up the Rubik's cube and then I solve it, and then that helps me kind of regain my focus. Um, but if it's something that really captures me, something that I'm truly, truly interested in, I can focus on it all day and not have a single issue. Um, so, um, computers, when I was learning HTML programming, like that, you could not get me away from computer. I was building websites left and right on like GeoCities and free servers and Tripod and all those places back in the day. Magic is the same way. Like I find things that are I almost become a little obsessive with things that I enjoy. Um, so when I was learning how to play guitar, I would practice for like 8 hours a day on guitar. Um, Wrestling, when I started wrestling, like I was very like focused in on studying old tape, training. I would go to my trainer's house and we would train for 4 or 5 hours a day, 3 or 4 times a week. And then magic is the same way. Like when I was little, I didn't have as much of the focus, so that's why so much of the stuff I did was very gimmicky stuff. And even though I did shows with that stuff, like I did like shows doing like Money Printer and the little kid version of Cups and Balls and things like that when I was younger and got paid. But um, when I started learning the more difficult stuff, like I went through Royal Road to Card Magic and learned pretty much every trick in that book in a week. Um, I went through and read all of Bobo's Modern Coin Magic in about a week and a half and learned most things out of that. So like would powerhouse through Magic. Like that's why like I always buy Magic books. Um, so normally in Magic it didn't really affect me a whole lot. It was it's the little like work becomes a problem um, for me. Like if it's repetitive, um, that's where I start finding a big problem because I become bored with it. Um, so like my job is a very repetitive job, and I've even told my bosses like I'm very bored with what I do. Um, I need challenge, and when I go to interviews, I don't tell them that I'm bored with what I do, but I tell them I enjoy being challenged because challenge is what keeps me on track. Um, and I think that that's one of the things that Magic does. Like there's a lot with Magic that I can sit here and play with this Okido box all day. Rooster has a routine that came with. Um, well, he's got some stuff that came with this box, but he's got a separate routine. I think it's called Okido Fly from Copeland Coins that I can sit here and practice all day. In fact, there was one day that I did sit here and practice like the first half of it, most of a day, and until I was able to get it down. And then but that's because it's a challenge, so it sits there and it keeps me interested. Legos I could play with all day. Video games I can't. Video games become, even if they are challenging, video games don't keep my attention very long. So that's why I don't buy the latest and greatest um, consoles. Like I have a Switch that I've played. It might have 10 hours of playtime, and I got it when it came out. My PlayStation has the most playtime on PlayStation 4. Um, but most of my stuff, like, I don't pay much attention to. If it's Magic, that keeps me in. Yeah, it is an odd shaped box. So that's actually one of the reasons I've got it. Copeland did their own version. Copeland Coins did their own versions of coin boxes, of Okido boxes, and they decided to do square boxes. So they did. Well, they have round ones too. But the normal Okidos, the box fits or the lid fits over the box, and on their version of the keto boxes they've built in an inner lip. I don't know if you can see that very well, but there's an inner lip here, so their round and square boxes have the same functionality. So it's not draped over, so it looks more like a solid piece when you're handling it, but pretty much works exactly the same. So I actually really like this. This is the reason I got it was because it was square. Because I'm like, that's a different looking box, um, and it's just like, I mean, I've had people ask me like, how do you introduce something like that? Like, I've not performed any Okido stuff for anybody, um, but I'm also a person. I don't feel like you need to justify everything either. I think if there's a need, you can just say, hey, I found this little brass box and I thought it would work really good for some coin magic, so that's what I'm doing with it. I never find a need to. I think as magicians we want to over explain and over justify things to a point where it's very detrimental to our magic. Um, Because, like, if you really think about it, like, even when it comes to, like, Rubik's Cube stuff, like, who's going around with a Rubik's Cube on them? Like, you're seeing more kids do it today. But, like, I don't know. I think we spend so much time and effort saying, like, justifying why we're using something that we lose track of, and then we start eliminating magic too because, like, oh, well, I don't have a good justification. As you know, coins, money's going away. Money is getting less and less. Like, we're getting more, and COVID helped. Yeah, exactly. You want to see magic? Here's some magic. That's all you need. Um, COVID, like, I've always said, we're going to go become a completely cashless society at some point, and I always figured it'd be around 2035 when it was going to happen. And then, COVID happened, and then it was like, oh, now we're really pushing for, because the Fed was running out of money. Overseas, a lot of places over there are already cashless. No one carries cash, and everyone gets concerned. It's like, well, what happens to money magic? And I think if you do bill magic, it gets a little bit harder. You can go around like, oh, I've got a bill or whatever. And it's like, oh, I just carry this because of whatever reason. But coins are such an easy thing to just, it's like, hey, I've got some coins here that I've always done magic with these. And I just want to show you something. I never borrow coins because everything I do is with half dollars or dollar size Morgans or Morgan dollars. I don't need to justify it, or I do. There's like I do a trick from Jason Dean called, I think it's Dropsy Diddle, where you go out with a bottle cap and you do a card trick, and like, what's my justification for holding the bottle cap? Like, I don't know. We just put so much. Magicians just put so much into justifying so many things, and I just sometimes sit there and just watch people's justifications. I'm like, it's like the little kid. We've ingrained it so much that you see children come out, and they'll come out with like an Aikido box, or they'll come out and they'll have like a copper, silver, brass set, and they'll say, "Oh, I got this box when I traveled to the Orient a couple years ago." It's like, dude, you're 7. You did not travel to the Orient. You have done nothing. You would have been 5 years old. You probably don't even remember that trick. Yeah, yeah, exactly. If you look at the new, like, if you look at like Susan B. Anthony's or Sacagawea dollars, they're all quarter size, and no one even uses those. Um, like, I don't know. I just think money magic isn't going anywhere unless you do things with bills. And even then, like, you're gonna have some people that are always gonna figure out a way to carry cash. I don't even know where my wallet is. It's probably in the living room. But I'll typically keep maybe a 20 as like emergency money in my wallet, but usually it never gets used. It's usually because I've gone to a store and I'm like, oh, let me just go ahead and use this. I've got a whole like money bag, like bank bag full of cash from birthdays and Christmas and everything, that its whole purpose is just to sit there, and it's like money when I need cash that I need to go out and use because I want to get something nice. And at this point, like, I'm tempted to throw it into my account and put it in my savings, and then spend it to go buy me some new coin stuff. I can imagine. We've got a lot. I'm in a medium sized town, but I'm surrounded by like Kansas City, so we've got a ton of things going on out here. Yeah, I misplace my wallet all the time because I take it out. I used to always keep it in my office because I use the Orphic, and now it's just becomes like wherever it comes out of my pocket is where it goes. Luckily, my wife has her own money. We spend way too much. We just found out one of our credit card bills is very high. So that's fun. But oh, and this week I should be getting refilled from Henry Harris. I'm pretty excited about that. I just got an add-on Vanishing Ink for it, so I actually ordered that directly from him. So I've been wanting a Vanishing bottle for a while. I should have bought one when I was at a magic shop, but this one I think it's funny how it's being marketed and everyone's acting like, oh, this is brilliant. Um, which don't get me wrong, I love Harrius effects, but it's the same kind of tricks that we did in the magic shop with the vanishing bottle because it's hard to sell just a vanishing bottle on itself. So we had the empty ketchup bottle, vanishing bottles that we'd put in a bag and then make full bottles of ketchup and then toss the bag. So I mean, I don't think it's anything revolutionary. I'm excited, but I do like the rubber that he uses on some of the stuff. So I'm excited to get that and see how well that holds up over time. I think it'll also work pretty good for like a close up. Like I know it'll work well for parlor, but I think it'll work pretty well for close up. I used to do Vanishing Bottle, the ketchup one, in my close up that I did at colleges back in the day. I don't know what else. There's nothing else really fun coming out. I think Curtis Cam has a lecture coming out through Penguin, which I need to probably go ahead and pre-order that. There's a $15 lecture on Penguin from, I don't know who that is, Etienne Pradier, Pradier. I don't know. I don't know who that is. I've never heard of that person. One thing about Penguin, their lecture series, you're bound to find people you've never heard of. And I've purchased a lot of things since the last time I've streamed. See, Chop, Keymaster. I don't know. I don't think I have this Cellini book. I might. Is that the old? Is it an old printed one or is there a newer one out? I knew we used to have one at the magic shop that I worked at. We had a bunch of stuff of gems. Yeah, I need to. My goal today, I'm gonna do some running around, but I'm thinking about pulling out one of my books. I might pull out some Art of Astonishment, mess around with that a little bit, see if there's anything that I've missed in there. I'm excited to talk about tricks from Josh J. I need to pick up volumes 1 and 2. It might be the only book I have anything appear in. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, I'm excited about talking about tricks. It's $250 for the 2-book set, which is a lot. I actually talked to my wife and told her that I want to get it, but it's kind of expensive. But she's also like, you should go ahead and get it because if you have something printed in it, like, that's kind of cool. So I've got that, and then what else do I've got going on? I have my cat in the way. I've got rest of the packaging for false recollections ready. So I've got the postcards and the envelopes to put the gaff cards in. I was going to put all this together for my vacation. or while I was on vacation, and I failed. I did not do anything because I've been off for the last 9 days, and I've done jack. So I might try to get some of that done today and start trying to build up the page on my website to start offering this. I think I've got right at 100 copies and I'm able to sell, and I've got to record I've got to do the video instructions. I've got my written instructions, um, but realizing a lot of people learn visually, even though it's a really simple trick. Um, I want to make sure that I have video instructions. So I probably need to get out there and try to record a performance video, but that probably won't happen. I hate I don't like asking people like, hey, record this while I do it, which I know is detrimental to me and selling magic. Um, but you know, it is what it is. But I've added some new handling. So False Recollections is based off of a trick from the Jinx magazine called Hallucinations. I've actually re-released Hallucination, um, back in 2007. I think it was 2007, 2000. Yeah, I think it was 2007. Through Black's Magic Shop, and the gimmick was taken, and changed up a lot, or the gaff card was taken and changed up um, a decent amount. And to me, when it was released, I wasn't very confident in the way that the product ended up going. I don't even know how well it did, to be honest. I know I bought some from the magic shop that I was working at, and I don't think we sold any. Because no one could demo it because the product changed so much. I think there was such an emphasis on where my reason for bringing that is like, I want to reintroduce the world to this trick and supply them the gaff card that you had to make previously, and update the pattern and give a little update on the handling a little bit. And it turned into, well, we can't. I think when Blacks got it and I took it to them, it was very much we don't want to do this because it's going to feel like we're just putting out an old trick, which I get from a business standpoint, but I also think that there's something about taking something and right from the get go, because I even told him, like, I don't want to act like I'm taking this trick. Like, I just want to reintroduce it to the world. And it swayed so much from the original that it was difficult to use. You almost can't get the gaff card out of the packaging because of some treatments on the card itself that didn't need to be there. So I had reached out to Black's Magic and asked for their permission to take the trick back because it's been so long and they weren't producing it anymore. And the owner said, "Yep, absolutely, go ahead. It's your trick. Do what you want with it, and send me a copy. You know, if you can. I would love to kind of see your new work on it." So I'm including the original handle or the original effect, basically, straight from the Jinx. I'm including kind of my updated pattern and updated presentation for it, along with some tricks and tips with the gaff. And then I'm including two other additional handlings, which I'm pretty excited for. Both ending in the deck being, after they've seen the cards, being a blank face deck. So I'm pretty pumped about that. I just got to record everything, and like I said, I need to probably get and do a performance video, but that's not going to happen. I guess it could if I can get to the bar in the next couple of weeks and record something. I guess I could. It's just remembering to hand someone my phone and have them record it. But I'm excited. This has been a long time coming. I've just spent the last year or so working on the instructions, writing them, making sure everything's the way that it should be. Making sure I've got all my credits in there, making sure of just everything. So we'll see where that ends up at. Hopefully, I'm hoping that I sell enough where I can recoup some of my cost. Because I'm going to be selling. I haven't decided on a full price yet. But I think I'm going to keep it in lines with what the original one sold for 10 years ago. And I might do some kind of coupon or something. I understand that. Well, Eric, I appreciate you stopping by. This stream's going to be ending here soon anyway because I've got to get my day started. So I appreciate you stopping by, and go get the kid taken care of, and go get the wife some coffee. We'll catch you later, Eric. What else has come out? There's nothing new out. Magic season has slowed down, it looks like, for anything good. Some re-releases. Phobia, I think, is a re-release. Triumph Kicker deck, Sven Pad stuff. They've got the Adele Bradley Cooper version of Sven Pad. That looks good, but 130. Oof. The Piata, whatever smart whiteboard's out. A new N8 or N2G trick is out. Michael Skinner's Ultimate 3-Card Monty re-release. Yeah, not a whole lot else really going on. Magic by Ella Stanion. I think I have these books. Mine just don't look like this. Because I think what they're selling in a 3-bound book is this giant beast of a book. It might not be. This might be something different. The entire magazine while performing and teaching. Yeah. So for $300, which is out of stock on Vanishing Ink's website, you can get this book, which I wonder how much did I was working at the magic shop when I got this, so I know I did not pay whatever was written in here. If there's anything written in here. There's not. It must have had a sticker on it. I think I paid like almost nothing for this. I want to say I paid like 50 or 60 bucks for this giant book when I got it. Because like I said, I was working at the magic shop, so I got a hefty discount. But yeah, it brings out to a whole new world. This is a collection, for those that don't know, this is a collection of magazines or newsletters that Ella Stanion put out. So there's a lot of stuff in here. There's going to be some tricks, there's going to be articles and different things like that, but I think you can actually get this PDF too now. But I don't know. I digress. I should probably flip through this heavy-ass book more. Okay, well, it is 6:55 my time. I need to probably get off of here, and actually get ready to get my day started. I want to thank Eric for engaging and tuning in. I want to thank everyone else for being on. If you were just lurking and watching and doing what you do, I want to thank you. If you catch it on the rebroadcast, thank you again for watching. And we will, I'll try to do these more often. And we will catch you. We'll catch you on the next go around. Hopefully, I'll have a video up this week. I missed last week because I didn't do anything on vacation I was planning on. But I think my next video is probably going to be my 6-month check-in with the Orphic wallet. So be on the lookout for that. Again, thank you for watching the stream, and we will catch you next time.